favorite addition to this Fallout series because this is supposed to be a cheeky visualization of how you purposely use your companion characters as essentially pack mules, picking up weapons, armor, scrap, and forcing them to comically carry around like 150 pounds for you. The mug drawings of Wilzig and the dog are in the same art style as the Total Hack magazines from Fallout 4. One of the criminals digging up the ghoul is rocking the junk jet, a unique weapon from Fallout 4 that jets junk. That's about it. It also makes an appearance in Philly when Lucy is looking at the store's inventory, and funny enough, it has a price of 285 caps, which is the same value of the weapon in Fallout 4. The ghoul, or rather Cooper Howard, has a lot of Western movie influences kind of surrounding him, with this standoff with these criminals that dig him up, taking inspiration from the good, the bad, and the ugly. Although this puppo at the Enclave is named CX-202, it's a reference to Dogmeat, the dog you meet in Fallout 4 at the Red Rocket gas station, which almost beat for beat happens later in Episode 7, I believe it is that episode, with the ghoul rescuing CX-202 from the freezer. Also, like dogs and red rockets, it's all a joke, haha, comedy. The guard outside of the Enclave is holding what looks like a laser rifle because of the stock, and I'm saying it's actually the custom Righteous Authority laser rifle that you can acquire in Fallout 4. In this scene, you can also see a monster hand slip from underneath the sheet, which is no doubt a super mutant experiment, probably using the forced evolutionary virus developed by Westtech. The brain in the jar has got to be an early experiment or update to the robo-brains that we get to see later in Vault 31. Essentially, it was a way to extend the lifespans of civilians and were used in various military settings. Wilzig and CX-202 have to avoid a machine gun turret when escaping the Enclave, a standard stationary turret that's a major headache or could be later crafted and used as a defense measure. As Lucy is continuing her exploration of the wasteland, she stumbles across a rundown and rusted Assaultron. I hated these in Fallout 4 as they were originally used in the front lines of military, probably around the time of the Great War. Rad roaches make a few cameos throughout the series, and Wilzig nails their description. They are mutated cockroaches, so no thank you, but you could eat them. You could eat the meat and regain some health, but then you definitely got some radiation, so the more you know. I forgot to mention these earlier, but Maximus and Knight Titus are flying on a Brotherhood of Steel vertibird, originally used as U.S. military gunships and military transports. There are a lot of Fallout food logos that, make cameos throughout this series. We already talked about Nuka-Cola and sugar bombs. Here, though, Wilzig opens up a can of cram. Our real-life version is Spam. Lucy drinks from a purified water bottle, the same exact design from the games. Big Boss cigarettes are featured in Ma's shop, along with an advertisement for a Braxo cleaner. At the campsite, Lucy is munching on some yum deviled eggs. In the Super Duper Mart, there is a baggie of Radaway on the coffee table, and in the abandoned overseer office, there's glue. I love this because it was always a prominent crafting supply in the games. Another beloved weapon, or I guess hated, depends who you talk to, the big ol' ugly assault rifle from Fallout 4 with a few different customizations or modifications on it, which instantly gets chomped up by the Yaogua, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, essentially an irradiated bear of the wastelands, and is quickly dispatched by Maximus using what looks like a variant of the Crusader pistol from Fallout 76. Amongst the vendors in Philly, Lucy walks by a vendor claiming to sell dog meat, another nod to the puppo from Fallout 4, but he also claims to be selling iguana, another food staple to the wasteland, and a little sign that mentions sting wing meat, a mutated version of a scorpion fly, and a pile of what looks like Brahmin meat, of which we actually see a live version of this later, essentially a cow, but it has two heads. A little behind the scenes info, but Jonathan Nolan mentioned that the viewer's introduction to Philly is supposed to be intended to generate similar feelings to players' first introduction to Megaton in Fallout 3, juxtaposing the pre- and post-apocalyptic worlds. During the Ghoul shootout at Philly, he basically uses the Vault Tech Assisted Targeting System, aka VATS, which is a system that allows players specifically to target weak spots on enemies and dispatch them that way. And yes, I know, the Ghoul doesn't have a Pip-Boy, but come on, he's targeting specific limbs, and the slow motion sequence of following the bullets to their targets. The Ghoul is also packing some heat because those are explosive rounds. In the chaos of this firefight, other company logos can be seen, such as CMR, a transportation company in this world, Robco Industries, a robotics and software company, and Poseidon Energy, a energy company ranging from your typical gas stations all the way up to oil rigs. There are a half dozen things in Ma's shop. First thing I noticed was this magazine on the counter, looking similar to Grognak issue 19, What Sorcery This? On the desk, there is a copy of Wasteland Survival issue 4, the Scrapyard Home Decoration Guide. There's a copy of Tales of Junktown Jerky Vendor issue 4 on the wall, and later there is another copy of Wasteland Survival Guide issue 2, Insect Repellent Special. Other things in Ma's shop is there's a mini nuke in the glass case when the Ghoul wanders in, and there is a poster of Mr. Pebbles in the background, the first cat in space, allegedly. I'm supposed to say that. That's what my lawyer said. This is a great one, though. So the brand of robotic limb that they shove on Will Zig's foot is called Jim's Limbs. Nice rhyming. I love it. But this is a nod to the Big Jim weapon that's just a wrench. But the special ability of this wrench is that there's a 20% chance to cripple the enemy. This is perfect, no notes. I love this Easter egg. The heads-up display of Maximus's power armor showcasing the same vitals as are shown to the players of the games when they get into the power armor. The integrity of the suit, fusion core levels, and so forth. The tool Lucy has to use on Will Zig is a variation of the Ripper tool from the games, a small handheld clipper chainsaw tool. Funny enough, his severed head is a nod to the Fallout Tactics Brotherhood of Steel side mission Vault Zero, where a severed head of a scientist has to be used as a quest item. The phrase Cooper mentions like 5 times is a reference to John Wayne yet again.
There's an old Mexican eulogy. Feo, fuerte y formal.
Which translates to ugly, strong, and dignified, something Wayne originally wanted written on his own gravestone. The giant salmon-colored creature we learn is a genetically altered human, but the Ghoul refers to it as a gulper or a glooper, which are big old slimy gecko-like creatures that you will definitely run into in the Wasteland. Back in the vault when the one vault member mentions that the water